It's really good.
On the back light is fading.
It's so good. But it's very good. It has
मैं बैठूं? आप बैठ जाइए और देखिए
नहीं वो चेक अपना खुद कर हाँ बिल्कुल ठीक है
थोड़ा आगे मूव
हाँ थोड़ा
या इसको मूव कर देते हैं
नहीं नहीं वो
और लाइट थोड़ा सा
it's
okay I think maybe first time maybe
exactly
so you are on live now.
I'm already live.
Yeah, you are live.
Be careful.
Okay, get them down.
So I think it's pretty good.
And you already planted
It's pretty good.
and Italian and German.
Yes.
So I'm giving the talk. I was food and functional food. There is 30,000 people coming and 500 section that I'm talking. So there are not spicy. So this is on Tuesday. I'm sorry?
Congrats. Bro, you've done it. Yeah, man, you've done it. Same. Here you go.
Good.
Same chapter. Oh, no.
Oh, that's a prayer. I can share it.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Getting the English ones, so those are printed out.
Oh,
We'll start. So guys, this is okay, right? This is good.
is the
Let me
printing happening just now?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll wait 2 minutes.
because the light is coming. So I just want to close this.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you all. And continuing from the last session we had, today we'll be going into the 11th chapter, the cosmic form. And before that, we have these Shanti mantras. So there are copies in Devanagari. And I'm getting some English printouts if anybody can chant Devanagari.
Yeah, let's
so you
wait
can just follow
for 2 more
along.
minutes.
Yeah.
Then if the print is coming out,
Yeah.
then yeah.
Okay, one more.
Yeah.
There's one more, few more. Where's the printouts?
I'm waiting for Adesh. Yeah. विश्वं दर्पण दृश्यमान नगरी तुल्यं निजान्तर्गतं पश्यन्नात्मनि मायया बहिरिवोद्भूतं यथा निद्रया य साक्षात् कुरुते प्रबोधसमये स्वात्मानमेवाद्वयं तस्मै श्री गुरुमूर्तये नम इदं श्री दक्षिणामूर्तये श्रीनाथादिगुरुत्रयं गणपतिं पीठत्रयं भैरवं सिद्धौघं वटुकत्रयं पदयुगं दूतीक्रमं मण्डलं वीरान्द्वष्टचतुष्कषष्टिनवकं वीरावली पञ्चकं श्रीमन्मालिनी मन्त्रराजसहितं वन्दे गुरोर्मण्डलम्. One of the things we have trying to achieve is, even UNESCO has accepted the Vedas as one of the world heritage. It's not really constructed as a holy book. I I don't know that term. It's a book of wisdom. And we have to take it that way. And the chanting we will do for brief will be just for the world peace. I think the text I have is different, so I'll have to borrow as in by yours, because this has a half chapter share there. Om Richam Bacham Prapade Mano Jajuh Prapade Sama Pranam Prapade Chakshuh Srotram Prapade Vagojaha Sahojo Mai Prana Pano Janme Chitram Chakshusho Hridayasya Manaso Vatitrinam Brihatspatirme Tapdadhatu Sanno Bhavatu Bhuvanasya Jaspatihe Bhurvaswaha Tat Saviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Jona Prachodayat Kaya Naschitra Abhuvaduti Sadavridah Sakha Kaya Sachishthaya Prita Kastva Satyo Madanam Magnhishto Matsadandhasaha Dridhachida Ruje Pasu Abhihunah Sakhina Mavita Jaritrinam Satam Bhavasyutivihi Kaya Twanna Utyabhi Pramandase Prikhan Kaya Stotribhya Avhara Indro Vishwasya Rajati Shanno Astu Dipade Shanchatushpade Shanno Mitraha Samvarudah Shanno Bhavattayama Shanna Indro Brihaspatihi Shanno Vishnururukkramaha Shanno Vatah Pavatagu Shannastapatu Suryaha Shannah Kanikradat Devah Parjanyo Avivarshatu Aha Nisham Bhavantunah Saguratri Pratidhiyatam Shanna Indragni Bhavatamavobihi Shanna Indra Varuna Ratahavya Shanna Indra Pukhana Vajasatau Samindra Soma Savitaya Sanjoho Shanno Devi Ravishtaya Apo Bhavantu Pitaye Sanjo Ravisravantu Naha Shona Prithivino Bhavan Rikshara Niveshani Jachanaha Sarmasa Prathaha Apo Hishtamayo Bhuvastana Ujjeta Dhatana Maheranaya Chakshase Yovaha Shivatamo Rasastasya Bhajayate Hanaha Ushati Riva Mataraha Tasma Aranga Mamavo Jasya Kshayaya Jinnatha Apo Janayatha Janaha Devhu Shantirantarikshagu Shanti Prithivi Shantirapah Shantirokadayah Shanti Panaspadayah Shantir Vishwe Devaha Shantir Brahma Shanti Sarvagu Shanti Shantireva Shanti Sama Shantiredhi Drite Drigu Hama Mitrasya Ma Chakshusha Sarvani Bhutani Samikshantam Mitrasyaham Chakshusha Sarvani Bhutani Samikshe Mitrasya Chakshusha Samiksha Mahe Drite Driguhama Jokte Sandrishi Jivyasam Jokte Sandrishi Jivyasam Namaste Harase Shochishe Namaste Astvarchishe Anyaste Asmattapantu Hetayah Pavako Asmadhyagnu Shivo Bhava Namaste Astu Vidyute Namaste Stanayitnave Namaste Bhagavannastu Jatah Swaha Samihase Jato Jatah Samihase Tato No Abhayam Kuru Shannah Kuru Prajabhyo Bhayannah Pashubhyaha Sumitriyana Apa Okhadayah Santu Durmitriyas Tasmai Santu Josman Deshti Jancha Vayandik Maha Tatchurdeva Hitam Purastat Chukramucharat Pashyema Saradaha Satam Jivema Saradaha Satagu Srunuyama Saradaha Satam Prabhavama Saradaha Satamadina Syama Saradaha Satam Bhuyascha Saradaha Satam Harihi Om स्वस्ति न इन्द्रो वृद्धश्रवाः स्वस्ति न पूषा विश्ववेदाः स्वस्ति नस्तार्क्ष्यो अरिष्टनेमिः स्वस्ति नो बृहस्पतिर्दधातु ॐ पयः पृथिव्यां पय ओषधीषु पयो दिव्यन्तरिक्षे पयोधाः पयस्वतीः प्रदिशः सन्तु मह्यम् विष्णोरराटमसि विष्णो स्नप्रेस्थो विष्णो शिवरसि विष्णो ध्रुवोऽसि वैष्णवमसि विष्णवे त्वा ओम अग्निर्देवता वातो देवता सूर्यो देवता चंद्रमा देवता वसवो देवता रुद्रा देवता दित्या देवता मरुतो देवता विश्वे देवा देवता बृहस्पतिर्देवतेन्द्रो देवता वरुणो देवता ओम सद्यो जातं प्रपद्यामि सद्यो जाताय वै नमः भवे भवेनाति भवे भवस्य मां भवद्भवाय नमः वामदेवाय नमो ज्येष्ठाय नमः श्रेष्ठाय नमो रुद्राय नमः कालाय नमः कलविकरणाय नमो बलविकरणाय नमो बलाय नमो बलप्रमदनाय नमः सर्वभूतदमनाय नमो मनोन्मनाय नमः अघोरेभ्योऽथ घोरेभ्यो घोर घोरतरेभ्यः सर्वेभ्यः सर्वेभ्यो नमस्ते अस्तु रुद्ररूपेभ्यः तत्पुरुषाय विद्महे महादेवाय धीमहि तन्नो रुद्रः प्रचोदयात् ईशानः सर्वविद्यानामीश्वरः सर्वभूतानां ब्रह्माधिपतिर्ब्रह्मणोऽधिपतिर्ब्रह्मा शिवो मे अस्तु सदा शिवोम् ओम शिवो नामासि स्वदितिस्ते पिता नमस्ते अस्तु माहि घोषे निवर्तयाम्यायुखेन्नाद्याय प्रजननाय रायस्पोखाय सुप्रजास्त्वाय सुवीर्याय ओम विश्वानि देव सवितद्दुरितानि पराशिव यद्भद्रं तन्न आशिव ओम द्यौः शान्तिरन्तरिक्षगो शान्तिः पृथिवी शान्तिरापः शान्तिरोषधयः शान्तिर्वनस्पतयः शान्तिर्विश्वे देवाः शान्तिर्ब्रह्म शान्तिः सर्वगो शान्तिः शान्तिरेव शान्तिः सा मा शान्तिरेधि ओम सर्वे खाम्बा एक वेदानागुरसो यत्साम सर्वे खामेवैनमेतद्वेदानागुरसे नाभिषिञ्चते ओम शांति 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 Today's chapter is a bit long, but if we skip reading, then we skip the whole thing. So that doesn't make sense, right? Let's read the chapter first, okay? so hopefully some of you do even have books. Chapter 11. This is really intense. We have chapter 10, so much fun, and still group has not vanished. So that's good. Arjuna Vacha Madanugrahya Paramam Guhyamadhyatma Sangitam Yatvayoktam Vachastena Moho Yam Vigato Mama Bhavatyayo hi Bhutanam Srutau Vistaraso Maya Tvattah Kamala Patraksha Mahatmyam Abhichabhyayam Evametadhyatha Tvattam Atmanam Parameshwara Drashtumichhami Te Rupam Aishwaram Purushottama मन्यसे यदि तच्छक्यं मया द्रष्टुमिति प्रभो योगेश्वर ततो मे त्वं दर्शयात्मानमव्ययम् श्री भगवान् उवाच पश्य मे पार्थ रूपाणि शतशोऽथ सहस्रश नानाविधानि दिव्यानि नानावर्णाकृतीनि च पश्यादित्यान् वसून् रुद्रानश्विनौ मरुतस्तथा बहुन्यदृष्टपूर्वाणि पश्याश्चर्याणि भारत इहैकस्थं जगत्कृष्णं पश्याद्य सचराचरं मम देहे गुडाकेश यच्चान्यत् द्रष्टुमिच्छसि न तु मां शक्यसे द्रष्टुम् अनेनैव स्वचक्षुषा दिव्यं ददामि ते चक्षुः पश्य मे योगमैश्वरं संजय उवाच एवमुक्ता ततो राजन् महायोगेश्वरो हरिः दर्शयामास पार्थाय परमं रूपमैश्वरम् अनेक वक्त्र नयन मनेकाद्भुत दर्शनम अनेक दिव्याभरणं दिव्यानेकोद्यतायुधं दिव्यमाल्यं वरधरं दिव्यगन्धानुलेपनं
सर्वाश्चर्यमयं देवमनन्तं विश्वतो मुखं दिवि सूर्यसहस्रस्य भवेद्युगपदुत्थिता यदि वा सदृशी सा स्यात् वासस्तस्य महात्मनः तत्रैकस्थं जगत्कृष्णं प्रविभक्तमनेकदा अपश्यत् देवदेवस्य शरीरे पाण्डवस्तदा ततः विस्मयमाविष्टो हृष्टरो मा धनञ्जयः प्रणम्य शिरसा देवं कृताञ्जलिरभाषत अर्जुन उवाच पश्यामि देवांस्तव देवदेहे सर्वांस्तथा भूतविशेषसङ्गान् ब्रह्माणमीशं कमलासनस्थं ऋषींश्च सर्वान् उरगांश्च दिव्यान् अनेकबाहुधरवक्त्रनेत्रं पश्यामि त्वां सर्वतोऽनन्तरूपं नान्तं न मध्यं न पुनस्तवादिं पश्यामि विश्वेश्वर विश्वरूप किरीटिनं गदिनं चक्रिणं च तेजो राशिं सर्वतो दीप्तिमन्तं पश्यामि त्वां दुर्निरीक्षं समन्तात् दीप्तानलर्काद्युतिमप्रमेयम् तमक्षरं परमं वेदितव्यं तमस्य विश्वस्य परं निधानं तम अव्यय शाश्वत धर्म गोप्ता सनातनस्थं पुरुषो मतो मे अनादिमध्यान्तमनंत वीर्यम् अनंत बाहु शशिसूर्य नेत्रं पश्यामि त्वां दीप्तहुताशवक्त्रं स्वतेजसा विश्वमिदं तपन्तं द्यावा पृथिव्योर्यमन्तरं हि व्याप्तं त्वयैकेन दिशश्च सर्वाः दृष्ट्वाद्भुतं रूपमुग्रं तवेदं लोकत्रयं प्रव्यथितं महात्मन् अमीहि त्वां सुरसङ्गा विशन्ति केचित् भीता गृह्णन्ति महर्षि सिद्धसङ्गा स्तुवन्ति त्वां स्तुतिभिः पुष्कलाभिः रुद्रादित्या वसवो ये च साध्या विश्वेशिनो मरुतश्चोष्मपाश्च गन्धर्वयक्षा सुरसिद्धसङ्गा वीक्ष्यन्ते त्वां विस्मिताश्चैव सर्वे रूपं महत्ते बहुवक्त्रनेत्रं महाबाहो बहुबाहुरुपादं बहुधरं बहुदंष्ट्राकरालं दृष्ट्वा लोका प्रव्यथितास्तथाहं नभस्पृशं दीप्तमनेकवर्णं व्यक्ताननं दीप्तविशालनेत्रं दृष्ट्वा हि त्वां प्रव्यथितान्तरात्मा धृतिं न विष्णामि समं च विष्णो दंष्ट्राकरालानि च ते मुखानि दृष्टैव काला नलसन्निभानि दिशो न जाने न लभे च शर्म प्रसीद देवेश जगन्निवास अमी सचां धृतराष्ट्रस्य पुत्राः सर्वे सहैवा वनिपालसङ्गैः भीष्मो द्रोणः सूतपुत्रस्तथासौ सहस्मदीयै अपि योधमुख्यै वक्त्राणि ते त्वरमाणा विशन्ति दंष्ट्राकरालानि भयानकानि केचिद् विलग्ना दशनान्तरेषु सन्दृश्यन्ते चूर्णितैरुत्तमाङ्गैः यथा नदीनां बहवोऽम्बुवेगा समुद्रमेवाभिमुखा द्रवन्ति तथा तवामि नरलोकवीरा विशन्ति वक्त्राण्यभिविज्ज्वलन्ति यथा प्रदीप्तं जलनं पतङ्गा विशन्ति नाशाय समृद्धवेगाः तथैव नाशाय विशन्ति लोकास्तवाप्ति वक्त्राणि समृद्धवेगाः लेलिह्यसे ग्रसमानः समन्तान् लोकान् समग्रान् वदनैर्ज्वलद्भिः तेजोभिरापूर्य जगत् समग्रं वासस्तवग्राः प्रतपन्ति विष्णो आख्याहि मेको भवानुग्ररूपो नमस्ते तु देववर प्रसीद विज्ञातुमिच्छामि भवन्तमाद्यं न हि प्रजानामि तव प्रवृत्तिं श्री भगवानुवाच कालोऽस्मि लोकक्षयकृत् प्रवृत्तो लोकान् समाहर्तुमिह प्रवृत्ताः ऋतेऽपि त्वां न भविष्यन्ति सर्वे एव स्थिता प्रत्यनीकेषु योधाः तस्मात् त्वमुत्तिष्ठ यशो लभस्व जित्वा शत्रून् भुङ्क्ष राज्यं समृद्धं मयि वैते निहताः पूर्वमेव निमित्तमात्रं भव सव्यसाचिन् द्रोणं च भीष्मं च जयद्रथं च कर्णं तथान्यानपि योधवीरान् मया हतास्तं जहिमापेष्ठा युद्धश्च जेतासि रणे सपत्नान् सञ्जय उवाच एतत् श्रुत्वा वचनं केशवस्य कृताञ्जलिर्वेपमानः किरीटी नमस्कृत्वा भूय एवाह कृष्णं सगद्गतं भीतभीतः प्रणम्य अर्जुन उवाच स्थाने ऋषिकेश तव प्रकृत्या जगत् प्रहृष्यत्यनुरज्यते च रक्षांसि भीषानि दिशो द्रवन्ति सर्वे नमस्यन्ति च सिद्धसङ्गाः कस्मात् च तेन न मेरन्महात्मन् गरीयसे ब्रह्मणोऽप्यादिकर्त्रे अनन्तदेवेश जगन्निवास त्वमक्षरं सदसत्तत्परं यत् त्वमादिदेवः पुरुषः पुराणस्त्वमस्य विश्वस्य परं निधानं वेत्तासि वेद्यं च परं च धाम त्वया ततं विश्वमनन्तरूप वायुर्यमग्निर्वरुणः शशाङ्क प्रजापतिस्तं प्रपितामहश्च नमो नमस्तेस्तु सहस्रकृत्वा पुनश्च भूयोऽपि नमो नमस्ते नमः पुरस्तादथ पृष्ठतस्ते नमोस्तुते सर्वत एव सर्व अनन्तवीर्यामितविक्रमस्तं सर्वं समाप्नोषि ततोऽसि सर्वः सखेति मत्ता प्रसवं यदुक्तं हे कृष्ण हे यादव हे सखेति अजानता महिमानं तवेदं मया प्रमादात् प्रणयेन वापि मसत्कृतोऽसि विहारशय्यासनभोजनेषु एकोऽथवाप्यच्युत तत्समक्षं तच्छामये त्वामहमप्रमेयम् हितासि लोकस्य चराचरस्य तमस्य पूज्यश्च गुरुत्तरीयान् न तत्समस्त्यभ्यधिकः कुतोऽन्यो लोकत्रयेऽप्य प्रतिमप्रभाव तस्मात् प्रणम्य प्रणिधाय कायं प्रसादये त्वामहमीशमिद्यं पितेव पुत्रस्य सखेव सख्यो प्रियप्रियायार्हसि देव सोढुम् अदृष्टपूर्वं ऋषितोऽस्मि दृष्ट्वा भयेन च प्रव्यथितं मनो मे तदेव मे दर्शय देवरूपं प्रसीद देवेश जगन्निवास किरीटिनं गदिनं चक्रहस्तम् इच्छामि त्वां द्रष्टुमहं तथैव तेनैव रूपेण चतुर्भुजेन सहस्रबाहो भव विश्वमूर्ते श्रीभगवानुवाच मया प्रसन्नेन तवार्जुनेदं रूपं परं दर्शितमात्मयोगात् तेजोमयं विश्वमनन्तमाद्यं यन्मे त्वदन्येन न दृष्टपूर्वं न वेदयज्ञाध्ययनेन दानैर्न च क्रियाभिर्न तपोभिरुग्रैः एवं रूपं शक्य अहं नृलोके द्रष्टुं त्वदन्येन कुरु प्रवीर मा ते व्यथा मा च विमूढभावो दृष्ट्वा रूपं घोरमित्रिङ्गमेदं व्यपेतभिः प्रीतमना पुनस्तं तदेव मे रूपमिदं प्रपश्य सञ्जय उवाच सुदेवस्तथक्त्वा स्वकं रूपं दर्शयामास भूयः आश्वासयामास च भीतमेनं भूत्वा पुनः सौम्यवपुर्महात्मा अर्जुन उवाच दृष्ट्वेदं मानुषं रूपं तव सौम्यं जनार्दन इदानीमस्मि संवृत्तः सचेता प्रकृतिं गतः श्रीभगवान् उवाच सुदुर्दर्शमिदं रूपं दृष्ट्वा नश्यन्मम देवा अप्यस्य रूप्यस्य नित्यं दर्शनकाङ्क्षिणः नाहं वेदैर्न तपसा न दानेन न चेज्जया शक्य एवं विधो द्रष्टुं दृष्ट्वा नसि मां यथा भक्त्या तनन्यया शक्य अहमेवं विदोऽर्जुन ज्ञातुं द्रष्टुं च तत्त्वेन प्रवेष्टुं च परन्तप मत्कर्म कृन्मत्परमो मद्भक्तः सङ्गवर्जितः निर्वैरः सर्वभूतेषु यः स माम् एति पाण्डव ॐ तत्सदिति श्रीमद्भगवद्गीतासु उपनिषत्सु ब्रह्मविद्यायां योगशास्त्रे श्रीकृष्णार्जुनसंवादे विश्वरूपदर्शनो नाम एकादशोऽध्यायः। I told you this is going to be a long one. This is amazing. You know, it's impossible to even summarize this chapter in our brief meet today, but I'll just stress a couple of points, and that should give you an orientation if you want to read on your own, and that's already, ultimately, that's what it is about. So how to make sense of this chapter for the kids who had not read this Bhagavad Gita before? What happens in this chapter is Arjuna is like, you know, arguing with Krishna, and Krishna is like, okay, Arjuna, you need to listen this, listen that, and this is how it happens. And even gods have a limit, you know. Okay, well, Arjuna keeps asking and asking, and he loves Krishna. It's very dear, inseparable from many, many lifetimes. But Arjuna has not figured out yet the totality yet of Krishna. And so, Arjuna, I've had it enough, you know. Yeah, I'm going to have to show you who I really am. But it's not like every day I like to show this true form of me, myself. But because you are really dear to me, and so I'm going to have to let you see who I really am. And then Krishna also says, but there's one thing though, because your mortal eyes cannot actually fathom this thing, cannot see. So I will have to give you some type of a higher Divya Chakshu, a divine eyes. And then taken aback,
Arjuna sees that Krishna is enveloping the entire existence. In this awestruck, Arjuna is looking into the body of Krishna. The sun is rising, the moon is rising, and the fire is burning in his mouth. That's giving heat to the cosmos, and birth is happening, death is happening. Inside his body are the gods and the goblins and whatever, the siddhas and rishis. And within that, all the planes of existence, all time, all space, and all events, including the battle, all the warriors rushing into his mouth, as if like those rivulets, during the monsoon, running towards the ocean, or like, these little moths flying towards the light, just rushing into it. And Arjuna freaks out. I'm scared, God. I'm just scared. I can't handle it. Can you just go back to your original form of, conch shell and discus and lotus and mace and this like a beautiful smiling face? I can handle that, but this one is too much for me. And then say, it's okay, Arjun. You have no reason to be scared, and it's not like I like to show this form of mine every day. Actually, only you have been able to see it so far, and only those with inseparable ananya bhakti, inseparable bhakti, can actually see this. This is also a pretext for we are going in chapter 12, which is a bhakti yoga, and this is a Vishwarupa Darshana yoga. This is the text. What is the meaning? To derive meaning, number one, you have to think about what type of project this Bhagavad Gita is. Drashtumichhami te rupam. I really want to see you. And Krishna reveals his form, his body. Aneka bahu daravaktra netra. It's not, he has like multiple hands and bellies and, mouths and everything. What is one point I could summarize from this is darshanam. 2 times, number one, Arjuna wants to see God. Arjuna wants to see Bhagavan. And number 2, Krishna bestows divya drishti, a divine vision, a higher perception, higher order consciousness, which allows Arjuna to actually see the divine in his body. I'm already giving 3 points there. Because we are very, sometimes we can be very confused in just drawing parallels. Everything is just the same. And so what we are trying to say is idli and picha are just the same. Okay, I mean, they both do the same job of satisfying our hunger, but idli and picha are not the same. Okay, idli is idli. I don't even know how to make it. I know how to eat, but so the same way, what type of encountering with the divine is being discussed here? And that is where we should not just rush into making a mellow, perennial, universal argument. There are also differences which should not be marginalized. The first thing is, if you go back to, I'm sure Rita has read, if you go to Exodus and Moses' encounter with God in Mount Sinai, where it's like Moses does not see God. Moses hears God. Muhammad hears Allah. There is no discussion of Muhammad actually seeing Allah. Why does it matter? Okay, I mean, there is a real difference between there is the body. What does Arjuna want to see? What does God want to reveal about himself? Is not, okay, Arjuna, do these things. Okay, you have these categories to follow. He wants to show his body, Vishwa Rupa, universal form. It is not Nirupa, it's not formless, it's not disembodied. God doesn't have the body, this is not it. God has the universal body. So that is number one point we should not rush into diluting. Number 2 point is about this darshana. There is actually one scholar, Diana Ek, who has written a beautiful book, Darshan. When you try to understand Hindu spirituality, one of the essential factors, irreducible factors, is seeing, darshan. When you go to temple, what is the most important thing? To do darshan. You look into the image of the divine, and then the divine eyes look back to you. You feel you had darshan, not just you saw, but God also saw you. And then you go back. Whether you do the chanting or whether you participate in the lamp ceremony or whether you got the prasad, all these things are good. But what is happening, the most important thing is darshan. This is what is happening. Bhagavan has to give darshan. But the thing is, Arjuna is not capable to actually have darshan. And it is also the task of Krishna to enable Arjuna. So, sometimes when the students come, we not only teach them what the subject matter is, we also discipline them. Like, okay, you have to respect teacher. Teacher's job is a little bit different, like parents, So it's like parents teach us to respect the entire world. And it's not like parents are like very hungry of their children's respect, but it's also the job of the parents to teach their children that they have to respect their parents. So Bhagavan's job is not only to be there for people who want to have experience of him, but also make them able to see him. Okay, well, I'm here, I'm God, and if you guys want to do your business, fine with me. Otherwise, I don't care whether you come to me or not. No, it's the job of Krishna to give Divya Chakshu. Divyam tadamite chakshu pasyame yogamashwaram. Two things. Okay? And the third point, darsana, also related with darsana. Because this whole chapter is about seeing the body of Krishna. Therefore, darshana is very important. And the darshana pashyami like 20 times repeated. So the third point, therefore, essential about darshana is philosophies in the Hindu culture, Buddhist culture, Jain culture. Philosophies are called darshana. Philosophy does not translate darshana. Darshana does not translate philosophy. Philosophy means love for wisdom, love for knowledge, and pure knowledge, to find what is pure knowledge. You know something, and then if you have the pure knowledge, whatever that is, you are doing philosophy. This does not translate darshana because the task of darshana is to encounter the truth. You have an idea about what is true. You have a theory about reality. That's philosophy. But you have to experience the truth. You have to have an immediate experience of the truth, because having ideas do not mean much. At least in this cultural ethos, okay, I have an amazing idea of what mango tastes like and you know all that. It does not satisfy our hunger. You have to taste it. Some things are there to taste. You have to taste. Something there to touch. You have to touch. Another point, I'm just making points. Another essential point is, why does it matter for Krishna to show the divine form? One is the centrality of the body. Not just divine body, your own body. Of grounding the divine embodied on earth, in this plane, in this very plane. This makes a categorical difference here. Okay, let me repeat it in a small words. So God is outside of the creation. God creates the world ex nihilo, out of nothing, and God is pure and pristine, somewhere aloof of whatever is happening in the world. That is one perspective. But that is not the perspective as you can find in the Bhagavad Gita. It is not in this chapter. That is not what is happening here. Why? Because Arjuna sees as the body of Krishna everything in the world. The time, the space. He has this sun and the moon as the eyes, the flames of fire oozing out, coming out of his mouth. Krishna says, Kalosmi loka kshaykrit pravriddha. Amihide surasanga. So even the surasangas go into his body, within his body. We are in the body of Krishna. Krishna has not exempted from us. This earth, the planet Earth with the rivers and the mountains, is the body of God. Our Vishnu, there is a term, Vishnu. We say Vishnu, 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 and our job is done, right? What does the word Vishnu mean? Now going back to Panini, right? My God is Panini. That's what I believe in. That's my everyday, all the time. I'm going to go at least one time, Panini. Vishtri Vyapto. You know, in Sanskrit, every word is like only the mechanics can learn Sanskrit, because they are good at breaking things into parts and connecting them back. Vish and Nu you have. Vishri, Vish means to envelop everything, to permeate all that is there. He envelops the sky. He, Ambara word can also mean the sky, right? And then sometimes Krishna is called Pitambar. And people will say Pitam Ambaram, one who has a yellow cloth, who wears yellow cloth. So Bharatji is very well Pitambar. Huh? But Pitam Ambaram, Ambara, the sky, one who has swallowed up the whole sky, the whole space, that is also Pitambar. Because only Mother Yashoda could see that he actually could, that naughty boy could swallow up the entire space, everything, the whole cosmos could come into his mouth. And then he gets pitambar. Okay? So we get carried away by these outside words, outside meaning. And we leave behind the deeper meaning of the words. What does Vishnu do? Vishnu permeates everything. Vishnu Vyapta. What does this permeation even mean? Permeation means in your everyday life of how the divine functions in the good and the bad. Bad has to have a place. When we make a promise that our job is to wipe out the evil from the world, the evil has to go live somewhere, okay? The evil should not bug us. That I'm not saying let's put the evil in our pocket. But this is a cosmology where God envelops everything. Therefore, if there is something bad, that has to be also within God. That cannot be exempted. Otherwise, that will condition the divine. That will make it limited. Everything that is there in the world, the good, the ugly, everything is happening within God, within the body of God. So these points are not just theologically important, because I'm not making a distinction between philosophies and theology. So the way to know these things, because the purpose of philosophy, it's a misunderstanding. Philosophers do theories because that's not what darshana does. Darshana has a different function. So if I pick up a few words, good words, I know I will not spend all your evening, and there are many great things
so
too.
we are all in a way part of the body of the God.
We are already within Krishna. So the bigger problem then is how to act on it. The critical moments of battle, for example, because it's the battlefield too. The critical moments of war, what is happening? Why is this thing happening? This is also happening based on, we are all these streams within the body. Like, there are undercurrents inside the ocean. It's the same ocean, but if you are a swimmer, if you do go inside the ocean, then you would know there are inner currents. We are different types. There are also streams inside the ocean and going in opposite directions, although in the same ocean. We are in the same ocean, but some of us are going in one direction, others are coming in other direction, and we are crossing each other. And we all have our own truths, our own reality, because if I'm flowing to north, I have one interpretation of what is the task, what God wants from me, to go north. But if you are going south, you have a different interpretation of what your task is. But we are in that same ocean soup, though. One day I got this real insight of, we want this divine compassion from the mother, always loving. And I go for a beach walk, and then just one fish tossed out. And by the time I was there, it was kind of dead. It was just tossed out of the wave, came with the wave, and got left behind. Poor guy couldn't catch up. For a moment, I felt like ocean is the mother, because she's giving birth to these children, right? And people go hunt them down and do whatever it's other people doing. But how can a mother throw her baby out of her lap, toss her outside of her lap, or of her womb, basically? We are trying to inscribe karuna, we are trying to inscribe compassion, and we want to remove all the tragedies from the body of the divine. But the divine is all encompassing, and the comedies happen there, tragedies happen there. There's also disgust happening there. There is beauty there. There is heroism there. All the rasas. all the aesthetic modes of emotion are displayed in the singular body of Krishna. So this is not an isolated vision. Therefore, it's a kind of, we can fathom one stream. We can fathom one line of argument. We can fathom one image. When it becomes Vishwarupa, the universal form, seeing everything as divine, we cannot fathom that. Because we are used to a culture, also biologically evolved to think in a binary of good and bad, of inside and outside, of mine and not mine. And this singular vision of the divine happening, all the contradictions within. This is the beauty of Krishna, that all the paradoxes reside within. There is no paradox in the absolute sense, because the creation is happening, and Krishna says, Kalosmi loka kshaykrit pravriddha. I am death in the body, okay? And I'm gonna eat all of you. And then these guys are going into his crushing. The depiction is not like amazingly beautiful. Read that carefully. It's crushing, and they are being swallowed up. And this is the time. Time is kind. Time also is ruthless. Everything happens within time, but time does not leave behind anybody and anything. So the fundamental thing for us, what you like to take one lesson. So if you think that cutting a corner, you have a good time today, you need to know that time will not leave you behind. Your time will come. If you think that someone is cutting corner and giving you hardship, their time also will come. Because that is what Krishna does. And why would Krishna do that? Is it like a vengeful Krishna or what? No, he has no vengeance. He has no particular love for only you. And when he loves, all he said is, I will let you see me. If I love you, then I will let you see me. What I do, what type of being I am, my true being. He's not saying, I will envelop in my lap and you will be like a baby. I'll sing a lullaby for you. All the sins will be forgiven. I will let you see the tragedy of the world as happening within you. I will let you see the victory that is going to happen. And Sanatana Dharma Gopta, I am the protector of Dharma. So when sometimes we feel like, Dharma is going, the world has seen these situations hundreds of times, that there are these Bali and Nahusha and all the glorious kings have come and conquered the world and try to define the world by means of their sword. And no conqueror has ever been able to conquer Dharma, because Dharma cannot be conquered. You can only surrender to Dharma. It's not religion. It's not faith. Dharma is just the law, the universal law. You throw things up, they will fall down. Spit up, come to your face. That's Dharma. So the Dharma is whatever I act good, good is going to come. That is Dharma. I do bad, bad will come to me. That is Dharma. I have to maintain by my Dharma, my own Whatever I'm supposed to do, that is dharma. If I am a defender, I have to defend those who cannot defend themselves. That is dharma. If I'm supposed to teach and I have to behave like a teacher, I have to teach, that is dharma. Everything, not just every human being, every entity, a little bug is doing their dharma. The bees are doing their dharma to pollinate. Okay? The birds are doing dharma to pollinate particular flowers and particular fruits. Even the breeze has its own dharma. The monsoon has its own dharma. And our ancestors thought that if you betray your dharma, and the Mother Earth will also betray her dharma, and when there has to be rain, there will be drought. I'm sure you have heard of those things. And when the king betrays his dharma, there will be bad things, people will suffer. So everybody has to maintain their dharma, means the natural law. It's not about how many times you surrender to and pray the name of God. That is not a dharma. That is your upasana. That is not a dharma. That is a different chapter altogether. There's one reference I heard. I don't know, maybe Oppenheimer or somebody, where Dibibha Yadishishasya Basastasya Dibi Surya Sastrasya Bhavediga Padustita. I've heard that one of these scientists, when they tested this nuclear bomb, Oppenheimer, and he just kind of got back to this verse. Oh my gosh, this is like so much of light coming, and that reminds him of this Krishna's manifestation of the shining beam of light, which radiance individual human bodies cannot handle. Tom aksharam paramam veditavyam tamasya vishwasya param nidhanam tama vyayaha shaswata dharma gupta sanatanastam purusho matome. Number one thing is, when people see Krishna as a human being born and has a particular time of death, that does not make him Sanatana. And then Shaswata Dharma Gopta. Dharma is also Shaswata, and Bhagavan is Sanatana. Bhagavan does not have temporal body. He can have a temporal manifestation. In his temporal manifestation means coming in particular time in different yugas. Even this very emanation in the form of me and you and uncle and auntie and all the friends, this is also the manifestation of Lord Krishna. Your philosophies of dualism, your philosophies of non-dualism mean nothing here. It's a direct encounter of the reality where all we can do is to just tremble. Oh my gosh, this is too much for me to handle, because all we have is a human consciousness, and human consciousness cannot handle things that cannot be conceptualized. Everything I can think about has to have a concept. I have to have an idea. I have to have a language. I need a word to describe it. I need an image, in a mental image, to fathom it. The description of Krishna manifesting in all these forms is not all that is there. It is not only in the manifest form, Sada Sata Paramya. So he is beyond Sat and Asat, and whatever is beyond Sat and Asat is also Krishna. So this is a different type of thinking. different way of thinking for which we are not cultured. We are not a culture. We are not trained. We don't fathom those things. That is why we have to give up. Ultimately, so I'm going back to darshana, how to see things the way they are. In order to see things the way they are, we have to be okay with letting go of our preconditions. We do not even want to see things without our biases. That is not darshana. Darshana does not help you constitute concepts to create ideas. Darshana help you to erase concepts, erase ideas. The project of darshana and the project of philosophy sometimes are into different directions. The project of darshana is to help you see things the way they are, and why you do not see things the way they are is because you already have your opinions about things. Let me see what he has to say. Okay, I'll hear him out. There's this evaluation happening. There is a judgment going on in the mind. I'll listen to him for a minute and see if I can agree or not. You already know the truth, and the person can be true only if he agrees with you. There is no hope for going outside of the paradigm to just, like Hanumanji, just okay. I don't matter. Like ultimately at the end of the day, what if I am wrong? No. I can't be wrong. If he agrees with my ideas, then he can be right. And he does not agree with my ideas, then he is wrong. And I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about me. So project of darshana is very different. To empirically ground, to directly encounter. Therefore, what do you have? You have the rishis. What the culture said about the rishis. How did they define rishis? Rishayo mantra drashtaraha. The rishis see the mantras. They don't hear it out. They see. They encounter face to face as if they are embodied beings. The mantras are tangible, embodied beings. And then you become a rishi. And yes, if you go in deep-seated meditation in the level of pashyanti, the most subtle form of speech, you can actually see with your inner eye, of course. It will not be like hearing. It will be like seeing. Seeing the sound. Nowadays, they call synesthesia. And they say, oh, you can create it, and it's a kind of disease. It's a neuronic jumble together. When you go inside all these collide, yatra vishwam bhavateka nidam, all our sensory faculties jumble together, become one. And it feels like tasting, it feels like touching, it feels like seeing, it feels like hearing. That is darshana. Darshana can happen when we are able to let go of our preconditioned conceptualization, our concepts. Darshana is not a project of creating, constituting concepts. It never was. Therefore, when we create a big theology down, and this is what people are actually replicating what is being practiced in other cultures, so that it feels good. Oh my gosh, I'm also doing like that guy because they're right, and you are always wrong anyway. So therefore, when we copy others, it feels great. But that is not darshana. Darshana is not about ideas. Darshana is the eraser of ideas. And darshana is not just the eraser of ideas. Darshana is the eraser of your subjectivity. Darshana is the eraser of your ego. The ultimate project of darshana is not to make me a great philosopher, but to make me nobody. That I'm not looking for some worship. That I'm not looking for my significance in the world. That the ego there becomes so insignificant that we humble down for once in a life, that this whole project of self-gratification is not about darshana. So most of the great darshanikas, philosophers who came from our culture did not even mention their name. They just left behind their philosophies. And some of my gurus, some of my teachers, some of my mentors, I know them, like Kaptar Baba, for example. That's not his name. He didn't give a damn about his name. Whatever people like to say, he lived in Kaptar, and therefore people named him after a village. It's like you calling me San Diego teacher. That's Kaptar Baba means San Diego teacher. He did not bother about his name. I was like 17, and you know what? Like somebody said, there's a great enlightened being in Rishikesh. I had to go. That was my first trip to India, by the way. I had to go see this great human being. You know what his name was? His name was Mostram Baba. Mostram means just a happy guy. He's not going to tell anybody, by the way, this is my name, you know, I'm such and so, I even have a PhD and I have published this many articles. Because these are philosophies. Darshana has a separate project. And why I had to talk a little bit about Darshana is because this is a Vishwarupa Darshana. Why Vishwarupa Darshana does matter today in particular is because our attitude about the divine, for if you are a spiritually minded person, our attitude toward divine has been separated from our attitude towards nature. We think that we are worshiping God by abusing the nature. One short story and I'll stop. When in Nepal, I had a little small house by the blessings of my parents and all. And there was just about 20 minutes of a walk up to the hill, and there's this very historical Shiva temple. I used to go visit there often to, of course, visit to the temple, but actually even more than that, for the nature there. It was so beautiful, surrounded by dense forest. And there was a little creek, a river flowing from one side. And I have meditated there many hours, many days. And I left Nepal and took a long time. I went there after, and first time I couldn't even manage to go. And at that time, I had to make a case. I had to go and feel the breeze there again, just to smell the dust of that particular place, which would feel home to me. I wanted to go to that place that had welcomed me for so many times. And my wife and I took a cab, went there. Just as soon as I started walking, my knees gave up and I kind of collapsed down. I had no strength on my knees. Something happened that had rarely happened to me. I myself didn't know, because something right in front of me, whatever right in front of me, was so shocking to me that my body gave up. What was so shocking was these rock miners had completely wiped out the hill. There was this temple. They had made the temple bigger. They donated money for the temple, and they had made the temple bigger, and they had given the golden pinnacle for the temple, and they erased the mountain behind it, the forest and the hill, and all the rocks were sold, and they just completely bulldozed out. You know, the temple has still host of Lixivian inscriptions of 5th century or 6th century. That's like, even historically, it's kind of heartbreaking. Then I went, I had to cancel some of the things. I felt like, oh my gosh, this used to be my village. And this used to be a place where I spent so much time. I need to go and talk to these villagers, the leaders. I made a case to go and talk to one person. And then, no, this is the party that is doing this, And I go to another, okay, this is the party doing that. You know what? They all are getting cuts. They all are getting commissions. That's the only industry in that village of rock mining, and that is feeding all the politicians like the leeches. Nobody wants to change it. Cut it, take it out. This last year too, I went there. Where we go throughout Bharatavarsha. People collect one black rock and worship as Shalagrama. There's only one river from which that comes originally. That's a Krishna Gandaki. From Narmada, you get the Shivalinga. From the Krishna Gandak, you get the Shalagram. And you know what? Again, it's a free bulldozing by the banks, collecting and selling, not as some divine rocks or whatever, for construction. Real estate. And again, I tried reaching out, this guy reaching out, that guy, no. And some of my own relatives are also in good political positions. And then they say, okay, you know what, you already know these things, I don't need to tell you. It means we all get commission from these things, so just get out, get lost. This is not dharma. Because your God is not out there that you can make him happy by confessing your sins or whatever. Your God is right here in this presence, in the form of the mountain, in the form of the river, in the form of the trees, because all this is body of Krishna. And when you say this thing does not matter, I will just do whatever in the world, and I will anyway go and give donation to my Guruji, and or Panditji, and then everything will be fine. Everything is not going to be fine. I do not know about other texts. I'm talking only about, because today's discussion is not about other books. This is about Bhagavad Gita. Following Bhagavad Gita, that's not going to be fine. So I just don't want to feel like I left something which I should not have. I'm just going back to fear, because I'm trying to understand why should Arjuna tremble in front of Krishna. And then Altenaiva Rupena Chaturbhujena Sahasra Baho Bhava Vishwamurti. And that's it. I'm going to stop. I promise you. Diti Yadvai Bhayam Bhavati. In the Upanishad, the genesis of fear. What is the origin of fear? I have my respected brother here who does a lot of psychoanalysis and all. Where does fear originate for the first time? When the entity, the thing, the subject, the object, whatever the thing you encounter in front is not you, fear comes. When that is other than you, fear comes. When that is a stranger, fear comes. So when that becomes your brother or sister or your adopted extended family and your own house, fear disappears. Arjuna fails to experience this Vishwarupa, the universal form. And the fear comes. He trembles. Then what he begs, can you give me your loving form with 4 arms that I'm used to see? Okay, he does not say that only with 2 arms, because for Krishna, ordinary people only saw his human form. It says, Tenaiva rupena chaturbhujena, by that same body, go back to your original body with 4 arms. That's what Arjuna is saying. That most people kind of sort of escape the significance of that line. Arjuna is not seeing Krishna with the 2 arms ever. Arjuna is seeing Krishna as Sakshat Vasudeva. He doesn't have a confusion to that level. In the real lower human level confusion. But Arjuna, while having that divine form, there is also a higher divine form, which demands a total erasure of the ego. And that is still not happening in Arjuna. Why is that not happening in Arjuna? Is because he's thinking, I don't want to fight. It's okay. I mean, people even made theory, look at this God, what kind of God Krishna could be, taking people to fight. I don't even think they are worth responding. What is worth responding is the only thing missing in Arjuna is he has this what I want to do-ness. I want to be a big warrior, Yasha Lavaswa, Krishna says in his Vishwarupa form. Well, all right, you have the warrior ego, and then based on warrior ego, you are coming with this not wanting to fight. That is also not me, because for Krishna, what is happening inside his body? So what will happen if Arjuna fights? He will get the glory. People will say good things about him. Oh my gosh, he was such a brave warrior. That's what they will say. Does it really matter? Rite pita na bhavishyanti sarve ye avasthita. I had to tell that. Okay, I couldn't just keep quiet and end the chapter without saying that. Because Arjuna has this self-significance. Little bit, sometimes when we feel that we mean nothing, then we get depressed. We need to mean something. We just don't need to mean something for our husband and wife or children or parents. We need to mean something for God. I did this, okay? I'm like I donated $1 million. God, I made your temple, okay? I mean, this is like, you are not talking to some ABCD here. I'm like a really, good guy, because it's just like, have some respect here. I mean, so that is why, like, Arjuna has this, okay, I don't want to fight. What does it matter? You are like this, patang, you are this, like a, moth, trying to determine the course of action. And you want to just cross the Pacific by swimming. And then therefore Krishna had to tell Arjuna, it's okay. I mean, you are an amazing guy and you will be glorious and all that. But rite pitva na bhavishyanti sarve. Whether you fight, you do not fight, you exist, you don't exist, it really doesn't matter. Because whatever is going to happen is going to happen. You act accordingly. You have the freedom. It's not that, okay, Arjuna didn't have a choice. You have a freedom. Either you can act accordingly what you are destined to, what you are supposed to act like, or you can choose to not act like. You have a free will. No problem there. But because of you not acting, you should not say that I will change the course of history. Because Arjuna, I'm sorry to tell you, Krishna doesn't say, I'm just adding, because it will be so rude, you know. I mean, you really don't mean anything. Because what Krishna is saying is, Rite pitva na bhavishyanti sarve. Ye avasthita prate. These warriors, because they have already entered into the mouth of this Kala asmi. I am time. And time is neither kind nor cruel. Time has its own laws. Time is dharma. Time only knows dharma. Whatever has to happen, has to happen. You don't do it, that's your call to make. And you will bear the consequences. But not that you will take Earth, the whole course. Even if this planet Earth and all this war and you create, you can. But you will not make dharma adharma and adharma dharma. The key point is sometimes, you know, we get very emotional. Not just me and you. We can see a lot of mud, you know, slinging and all that. It's like sometimes we deviate from what is dharma. Sometimes I become biased. I'm talking about me. Sometimes we get diluted from the eternal dharma. So much so, due to our contempt or due to our passion, due to us loving something so much that we are blindsided, or due to us hating something so much that we are carried away. It's not dharma. Dharma is dharma. And what you stand for matters, not that you change the course of all God's plan. You change the course of your own life. That's where I think I should stop. And we can definitely have some conversations, question, answer. Bhadram karnevi shrunuyama devaha bhadram pashyema kshabirjatraha sthirei rangai stushtuva gumsastano vidvasemahi devahitan jadayo. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Sunilji, yes.
So, would you throw some light on this Geeta Chapter? Because that's a deep meaning, I believe.
Yeah. So when we are thinking of Krishna giving a Divya Chakshu, generally translated as divine eyes, it's not like we have images with third eye, you know. That's a metaphoric thing. All these images are metaphors. We have a general chakshu. Chakshu also is a metaphor, not just eyes. Eyes mean all the sensory faculties. Like when you know, you want to list all the people, then just like invited family means like everybody is invited basically. When the main householder person is invited, everybody else, kids cannot say, nowadays they do, I'm not invited, you are invited, you go. So, no, when the chief person of the house is invited, everybody is invited. So chakshu, eyes, are the main of the sensory faculties. Therefore, when we talk about the higher sensation eyes, we are talking about all the sensory processes. Every single sense organ has a paranchikhani vetrinat swayambhu tasmat parang pashyati nantaratman kaschit dhiraha pratyagatmanamakshat avrita chakshu amritaptamasnan. So we are naturally built to flow out, see things outside. We do not reverse the process. We do not reflect back and see the very seeing. When I'm looking at you, I could also look at me looking at you. When I touch, have a sensation, I feel the touch, I can also feel myself feeling the touch. I smell something and that smells good. I can also evaluate myself smelling something good or tasting something amazing. Divya is a higher category perception. Ordinary perception only sees outside world. Higher perception sees the self. Higher order perception is the perception of our consciousness engaged in the world. When I'm engaged, I'm eating. Therefore, you can do meditation while actually eating food, listening to music. Not like, okay, I sit and I'm meditating and I have to listen to music. No, I'm not talking about that. What I mean is, if you are listening to music, when you are watching, observing yourself, listening to music, that becomes a meditation. This is the first layer of understanding a higher order perception, Divya Chakshu. The second layer perception would be, we are always used to see, touch, feel things that can be conceptualized. Every concept gives us a finite shape, a form, a concrete image, a name. But the reality is not fragmented in this and that. Reality is all embracing. And our sensory processes cannot fathom all embracing, all enveloping, all inclusive truth. And for that, we need a Divya Chakshu. So these are three different ways to understand Divya Chakshu. Thank you. Yeah, Umaji?
What did Mastaram Baba tell you at 17?
You know what? That was number one. It taught me lessons of good life. Number one, I had never taken train in my life. In Nepal, we didn't have the trains. That was my first time, not just to go to India, but also to take the train. And there was this Kumbh Mela happening. And in the second class seat in the train during the Kumbh Mela, there is no seat, okay? And everything is happening. People are checking and releasing. Everything is happening in the same box. There is no air because the windows are blocked by some people sitting up and down there. I was crammed like I would say chicken, you know, like everybody. If that bus would take 50 people, there were maybe 1,000 in that, okay? That is, I mean, why I'm describing this, my love, my eagerness. I even talked to my Guruji, what questions shall I ask to Master Baba? And my Guruji, Prem Chaitanya, said, you will get the questions when you are there. You don't just prepare the questions here. And I had at least 24 hours of bus and train and all these, and spend a night in ashram. And the next morning, I had, you imagine, like 60 hours to think about all these philosophical questions. They don't need to be highly intellectual, whatever the age, you know, but. And then I go to the banks of the Ganges, way above Lakshman Jula. I had to walk for 45 minutes after crossing Lakshman Jula. If you have been there, you know what I'm talking about. And I have these questions really boiling up my head. And then I go there, he's lying in the bank, completely nude. Somebody had thrown a towel, so looks decent for us, not for him. He has these gaze that are like the eyes of a dead person. He's in this absolute state of samadhi. There were like hundreds of people. Somebody thought it should be good to fan him. So he didn't ask them to. Other people thought, let's offer fruits. He didn't ask for. He was just sitting there. in this absolute state of samadhi. One thing that happened is when I entered into that radius, I do not know how much time I spent there. And the crowd was not pushing or organized in that sense. They're not too much of crowd either. Who goes to these people? You know, like maybe 200, whatever. Whatever the time I spent, like slowly from one side to the other. And then whenever I got the idea that this is for me to actually go from here, I don't know whether I spent 5 minutes or 5 hours. Later, I could tell you that it was like 3 hours of time, but I was not in time. Forget about asking questions. I didn't have any questions there, not because I was repressing my questions. The whole urge for asking question, this mind was not there. My mind was absent. And I'm not like swept by devotion. I never am that type of person, honestly. I have this inquisitiveness all the time. And after I walked out, one of my retired professor teachers who was there, I met, you know, like all these companies, I saw him, Rishi, sure, he was named Rishi. And what is your experience? And my first response was, I want to be like him. And you know what? I went to Delhi after that and asked for my Guruji to give me sannyas. And he said, go to school and finish your classes. That is your sannyas. That is what you have to do. That is my story. Thank you, Umaji. Okay, sure. Thank you so much.
Yeah.